Oh man, always makes me slightly worried when it takes the game a second or so to kick in there. Alright. Ba-dum-bum-ba. Let's just park this here. Lovely. So yes, good afternoon everybody. So, I'm kind of just going to be chilling out at the minute. I haven't particularly got a plan. That's what tends to happen with these things. So, let me just do this, because this will probably need doing. Oh, have your food, my sweet, sweet chocobo. And now I will ignore you for an hour. I really haven't done enough actual stuff in game to get it particularly high level. I think it's like level 6. It's just a wee baby, but it's getting there. It's learning slowly but surely. So, some of this is going to be essentially me finishing off some of the dailies before the reset. So I've got like an hour. So you know, I'm not going to get it all done. Realistically, I'm probably just going to queue for this, just so I can get those 120 Tombstone of Verities, because I needs it. I needs it a lot. So, that's going to be like the main thing to do. Maybe question mark expert stuff. Realistically, after around about 4 o'clock, what will probably end up happening? Actually, I'll queue myself now, because yeah, it's going to be like 20 minutes. Christ, should have got on earlier. So, the main thing is when the dailies reset. Realistically, I'll probably end up doing those. Well, they'll be on stream anyway, but I'll probably end up doing those with my free company guys. And yeah, so that'll probably be a faster run through of things. But as I've got a bit of time now, I can just kind of have a natter while we wait. Oh, and apparently I have a driver update. Oh joys. Damn you, Nvidia, pushing your drivers out at the worst times. I'm trying to get some stuff done. Don't you know this is the worst time I could possibly do a graphics driver update? How dare you? So yes, quick recap from this morning. We talked about game, you know, we talked house, and yeah, we actually got through a fair amount of stuff. I doted a little bit on Red Mage. It's quite easy to do, to be honest, but still. And we even got some shiny new follows. They actually, one of the main things of why I actually still have the followers on, so that's the bit that's over here. The main thing why I want to at least try and let like followers and stuff stay on stream and such for a long amount of time, because that's certainly for coming onto a new platform like this, that's like a big thing. And you know, every single person who decides to follow and watch and stuff, although it does still mean a lot on things like Twitch and stuff, obviously for a new and growing platform like Mixer, like any support we can get is absolutely huge. So that's why I'm always going to be keeping, certainly like for follower stuff, that's why they're pretty much going to be like the main thing that hides the chat behind here. Because yeah, if I hide this stuff, you can see like I've got like normal in-game chat behind here. So that's like the main reason why I wanted to block that space off anyway. But yeah, it's very much a case of anything else is just a bonus. Right now, it's just, you know, if anyone wants to kind of hang out, follow, talk, that's like the big thing for me. But anything else is just a bonus. So yeah, the fact that I didn't, because I haven't gone like bonkers on social media or anything like that to actually advertise in advance anyway that I'm doing this. I kind of wanted it to, although I'm like now putting links to my things up on like Twitter and so on and so forth, I didn't want to like overly like push the fact that this was a thing before it actually became a thing, because I kind of want it to actually grow quite organically. I don't kind of want to at least not necessarily just kind of like blow up like crazy, because you know, I want people to like not only find Mixer as a platform, but then obviously find me within it. Now admittedly that might mean that it takes a little bit of a while to grow and build to the crazy levels that I had on Twitch, but yeah, I don't mind. I'm here for the fun of it anyway. But yes, that is basically why, at least for this bit, like the actual like follower stack, that part of it I believe only has 4 notifications on it, I want to say. Just basically so that like it's more or less in line with the top of my red mage detailing here for my lovely shiny UI element. And essentially it's just because this little bit here is just blank space anyway. There's nothing actually, if I pop into my HUD, there's nothing actually that goes really here. I mean, I don't particularly count my pet hotbar, which is the bit that's just here that you guys can't see at the minute. But like everything else, like the party list alliances and stuff, it's all way out the ways. So there's nothing really that gets in the way here. I mean, even the enemy list, it's like unless there's like an absolutely massive group of it, then it does track down here. But that won't particularly impact on anything major. At least I wouldn't have thought so. And yeah, basically the rest of the idea of stuff on here is, well, it's primarily so that I don't have stuff in the way of the game. Now, essentially, all I mean by that is, I don't have like big flashy follower notices that like splash the whole screen, and I don't have like big over-the-top sound effects and stuff. At least for now. Admittedly, if there becomes a demand for that, in terms of like the majority of people who end up following and watching and stuff, then that's the thing will actually get adjusted in time. And a lot of that will just come from anyone who watches this. You know, my details for how you can actually get in touch with me is actually just in my details down below on Mixer. So you will find like, you can get me across like social media, just like the big one that people can get me on easily is Twitter. You can get me on Instagram, although admittedly that the majority of that stuff is just pictures of my dog, so that's not particularly practical. But you can get me on there. I do also obviously have my own website, and a lot of that is kind of, when I have time to, it's usually where I put my additional thoughts on technology releases and gaming and stuff, where I wouldn't necessarily have the same sort of free roam on the stuff I put on logical increments. And that's not to say that we don't put a load of stuff on logical increments anyway. I mean, we do, but we do try and stick to a certain sort of style on there. So, you know, if I kind of want to go a bit more off kilter, I wouldn't even consider putting something like that on logical increments anyway. I wouldn't like suggest it as an article for myself. So, you know, there's a slight difference in styling there. But yeah, one of the other things with the website stuff though is it's like you can leave me messages, you can put comments and stuff on there as well to other bits and pieces. You know, it's just another way to grab me if you don't have social media. That being said, my comments does use Discuss, so thinking about it, like the more common way you actually log into that is with social media. But like I said, I mean, end of the day, if you're going to be watching me on here and stuff, I do always keep track of my various bits and pieces, like right here on Mixer. The other way you could realistically get hold of me would be to get me through like either my own Discord stuff or through Reddit. I have the same names everywhere, so you can usually find me. But yeah, on Discord, I've actually got an open invite for people on there. There is actually things like mirrored chat and stuff like that because Mixer has a lot of Discord integration just built in. So you know, I have like a lot of that stuff all pre-set up, ready to go. It's actually all working now. So it's like if you end up like wanting to actually like keep track of stuff like outside of Mixer, you can do it through Discord as well. And on Reddit, I'm going to be at least helping those guys out with a lot of the Mixer subreddit wiki. So I've already been added to the team over there, so we'll be doing a lot of stuff on there, trying to essentially help other people out to not just get started on Mixer, but kind of take advantage of the best parts of Mixer. So that's like everything like understanding like the FTL stuff, give people like tips and ideas for how to use like the interactive tools, like how things like that are actually expanding further down the line. Like one of the big things that Microsoft is doing at this current point is actually expanding out things like Java libraries and stuff for the interactive sections of the streams. So you will find further down the line there's going to be a lot more of that sort of stuff as well. And yeah, like a big part of like the wiki stuff is kind of going to be not necessarily giving everyone a blueprint, because you don't really want necessarily everyone to have like the exactly same way to do stuff. You kind of want to give people like the base work for it, and you know, give them a sort of like framework to go off, and then you can say, if you want to do like, you know, X, Y, and Z, you need to do this. Versus like, if you want to say create a soundboard, you must do this, and it must be this. You know, like not limiting them to like individual feature types and stuff like that. And yeah, there'll be a mix of that stuff as well. I mean, you'll probably end up finding like stuff like bigger guides might end up like doing things like ending up on like my website or something like that. I mean, I've got a couple of general but detailed-ish guides to Twitch stuff still on my website, and that was things like just understanding bitrate stuff, like setting up OBS to basically like play a game, you know, like just very basic stuff. And it's like, it's not then I say you need this sort of overlay and you need this sort of detail, and I'm not going to put that sort of stuff on there anyway, because I don't want to not so much limit people, but I don't want people to think, you know, if I say one thing you can do with it, I don't then want people to think that's the only way you can use something. So yeah, it's kind of like leaving the options open for people to be creative with it. But yeah, lots of stuff. I wonder what they're queuing for. Da 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 da. Lalafels. You just see. I'm actually just telling them what I'm about to tell you, which is like I'm just checking out their gear. Yeah, I was just trying to see what glamours they had. Because it does look funky. They've gone with the full kit, I think. I don't know, they've got a... Easy, excitable Lalafell. Yeah. Luckily, my insane ramblings have meant that we haven't got too long to wait. It will actually be faster with the reset in, what, 40 minutes? Mainly more than anything because like when I actually do the daily stuff normally, I normally actually queue with my free company guys. But as I was actually wanting to just kind of natter for a little bit, that's where that came from. Just get into the music in here. There's actually something I was talking about earlier where, you know, I don't particularly feel the need to have music playing on the stream. Mainly because like music is such a big part of this game. So I do sort of feel that if I was playing music over it, or well, effectively muting the in-game music, it would almost be harsh on the people who made the music for the game, because it's got some incredible music. I'm being lazy. It's like I actually have level working, but yeah. It's like I would actually need to go back and level it. That, admittedly, doing the crafting and gathering stuff, that may end up being a thing at some point. It's like I may literally just have like a whole stream of doing nothing but that, which might not necessarily be the most interesting stream in the world. So I would have to have a ridiculous amount to talk about, more than I do normally. But I really would have to have a lot to talk about. Do like these. The effects are quite fancy, shall we say. Look. They are kind of cute. Why does everyone always go with the shark? I don't know why. So people just like the idea of having a shark in like a little like a little normal fishery. Gotta believe on the Q-pop. Yeah, it's actually getting close, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Thank God. What else was I wanting to do this afternoon? Might need to go get some more greens. I could probably tidy some of these up. Do I want to keep any of this stuff? That I do want. something for a bit of spell speed. Don't mind if I do. Oh yeah, that was me overbuying antidotes for the last quest for Red Mage. part of the quest, I won't actually give the context, but there's a big part of the start of the quest that very specifically says that you must take some antidotes with you, because like there's a lot of poison and stuff involved. We'll just leave it at that. So I was like, a lot of poison? I will buy 20 and I shall never be short. And I used 3 of them. So I overdid that a smidge. But you know, they're only like cheap little antidotes. They cost like nothing. So you know, that's fine. We can live with that expense. Yeah, we're just comparing what we're doing. It's what often ends up happening with free company stuff. It's actually, this is kind of like one of the nicer things with the stuff we do with the free company, is that because like we are like a smaller group, we do tend to find out like what each other's doing, and you know, we try and help out and stuff. It's a much nicer, tight knit group. And yeah, it's actually a similar thing to what I'm wanting to do with this channel, to be honest with you. It's like, and again, it's like if it becomes like a massive thing, then so be it. I'm not exactly going to complain. But as part of that, I do want to, hey, coop up. I do actually want to, you know, especially like with like having a much slower build up, it really does help like me as a streamer to actually take time to get to know people, find out what they like to play, you know, actually get to like know the people who are watching me and hanging out. That's a big thing for me. Wow, why are we here? Interesting. I genuinely didn't think this would pop. I can live with it though. And yeah, you know, it's not to say like it's like I don't want it to kind of build up over time, but like at the same sort of time, like if I can actually spend some time, get to know you guys and stuff as well, that'll be great. I think I've maybe done this particular dungeon maybe 4 times total. I did it I did it once as like a story thing, and then once as something else. I don't think it particularly comes up that much on roulettes. At least to my own recollection even. I say it very, very rarely comes up. Pulling everything with my AoEs. Do not want. Haha. Yeah. Now, the reason why I say I haven't run this many times is I'm gonna be pretty sure that I have zero recollection for how to do the bosses. which is possibly going to make things very difficult. Ah well, part of the fun really. I mean, admittedly with like most of the game mechanics, they're very much designed to, it's like once you kind of know how your class plays and stuff, a lot of the style in the game, like in terms of like what sort of mechanics you'll see and that sort of thing, are things you can kind of start to learn and recognize. It's not as if they... Oh, come on! I can't pull him off myself again. But yeah, it's like it's not as if the dungeons, at least like the normal dungeons, like I'm gonna exclude like things like savage content and stuff, but like, you know, normal dungeons for the most part you can kind of muddle your way through without necessarily having to know exactly what's going on. It's a lot more forgiving, I should say. Man, this is one of the things I really do like about this game. It's just like the actual like designs of the places are just so damn cool. Charge! And yeah, like I said, it's like the design of these places is just so cool. It also helps when you're playing like a very fun class. Yeah, man. Oh. Yeah. Hey, nice. I think why am I looking at gear? This has nothing for me. Well, I say that some of like the more unique design stuff on like trials and things, some of that stuff's really cool. But yes, in general, oh boy, in general, your you're not particularly going to be like picking up any gear overly in like the lower level content. I'm actually, for those who don't actually play the game, I'm actually doing this just purely to get a trade-in item, so I can actually get stuff of my level. Such is the master plan. We grind, we get some gear, we grind some more, and then we complain when there's no more content left to grind. It is one of the nicer things with the game. It's like it has its grindy elements, but it never feels like a grind. And like that's just my own opinion. It's like if I'm enjoying what I'm playing, it doesn't feel like I'm grinding through stuff. Now, that being said, I will concede that, you know, people have got either bored of the game or the class they're playing or what. You know, it's like I will concede that for that, then yeah, it will start to feel a little bit more like a grind. But yeah, certainly to me, it doesn't. I mean, maybe part of that is like we're changing class with the expansion. I don't know, but yeah, I can only really give my own opinions. I wouldn't necessarily want to speak for others. That's actually an interesting topic that's come up with Final Fantasy XIV stuff before now. And it's the sort of not so much backlash, because that's not exactly the term I would particularly use, but it's the differences in styles with a lot of like live streamers and podcasters and things like that. I'm going to burn this on these. You know, there's a significant difference between a lot of the different sorts of streamers and podcasters and fan sites and so on and so forth. And a big part of that is... let me get rid of this. The big part of that is that because the game is now like quite large and quite popular in terms of its player base, you do get a situation where there is a lot of different styles in there, and they don't all necessarily work very cleanly with each other. So you will find like some of the more people who are either more analytical or critical of the game. You will often find they will bash heads with people who will be absolutely swear down that the game's like the second coming. I try myself to kind of end up somewhere in the middle. It doesn't always work out that way, but I do try. So yeah, it's a difference you will get in like different people's styles and stuff. Makes it more fun though, I feel, especially like for a big established game. It's like you can sort of know that you'll find like the sort of style of person and content and things like that you want, without necessarily having to worry like if you're missing out on something, or if you're like if you might be like missing some sort of content in some way. So you know, that's like I just about got away with that. That's like, let's say, one of the more handy things with the game having such a big player base now. But yeah, you will get like a little bit of kickback on that between like different styles of stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. At least I'm not pulling anything like crazy here. Like it's not going too overboard. Wasn't really anything that grisly about him. We kind of just melted our way through those guys. Ah well. Yeah, the more I play through this dungeon, the more I realise that I really haven't played this dungeon that many times. just no recollection of it at all. I do have a feeling that it must have been... I can double check it in a bit. I can have a check just to see where this appears in the content chain. Would have been in there somewhere. Clearly it was very memorable. I'm not entirely sure why it's escaping me. I mean, it's probably with it being like level... What's it doing here? It's sinking to 60. So it would have been something from Heaven's Ward somewhere. So yeah. I haven't played that much Heaven's Ward stuff recently. So, you know, versus say anything from Stormblood. So that's probably why it's not ringing a bell. But yeah. It's nice though coming into this, not so much fresh as such, but it's like, because for whatever reason I don't remember having done the dungeon, it comes across a lot more fresh and interesting. Yeah, I am hoping there's not a particularly nasty mechanics here. Oh, hang on. Get inside me little circle thing. So yeah, like stuff like that, where it's they might colour it differently and stuff, but fundamentally it's similar mechanics. So yeah, it's one of those sort of, I wanted to charge, but I'm gonna end up charging through her. Right, I'm having to come round because if I charged on her, I would have gone through this. Oh, god damn it! Whoop! Oh, it didn't go far enough. Rip. I actually just about got away with that. Totally meant to do it. Hey, hello dude. Thank you very much for the follow. Good afternoon. Or perhaps another different time zone, depending on where you're from. But yeah man, thank you very much for that follow. Very much appreciated. You will be known forevermore as the third person to ever follow. Oh boy. Hang on. Ah, that's nice. Ow. I really nearly screwed that up as well. Just saying hello. Oh dear. See, the composure goes out the window when you try and multitask. Hey, look at that though, we got through it. But yeah, J. Carmichael, thank you very much, dude. Some good work by the tank there. I stumbled through, and yet survived. So yeah man, I hope things are okay in your corner of the world. Right, where are we? So we're 15 minutes away from the resets. So all of these will reset again in a few minutes. So it'll give me some time to do that. I should have enough for a piece of gear. He says. Ba-bum-ba-bum. Yeah, I'm trying to gear up a little bit first before starting the Omega stuff, which is quietly sitting there waiting for me. And primarily, I'll be wanting to do that with my free company guys. That being said, I will still end up doing like random runs, just with whoever. Let's have a look. It's 500 for the weapon. So I've only got the waist piece. The rest I need to switch out. Alrighty then. So I actually did I replaced this in the last stream and never actually equipped it. Doi. He's a smart one, this fella, he really is. And yeah, the reason why I have like loads of this stuff already is purely down to my healer. My Astrolugian is already geared in this stuff, but I can't use the same stuff, so we must buy fresh stuff. God, look at that difference. Painful. Hang on. Yeah, once again, Square Enix proving why I don't wear hats in this game, really. At least very rarely. Oh dear. Alright. So, I can either wait until the reset, and then I'll easily have enough to afford these, or go for 2 secondary pieces as such, and get like a hat and something else. I suppose if I'm going to be technical about making sure I get like the most bang for my buck, at least while I'm switching this out, I should probably wait. But you know, being impatient, I should probably also look at the weapon as well. It's not that much higher than the 290, but then its weapons do scale differently. Lots of gear to do. What else was I thinking of then? I was thinking of something. Oh, yeah, I can leave that actually now that it's popped back into my head for what I was thinking. Oh dear. But yeah, I can leave that for now. It's not needed. It's all quiet on the Discord as well. I'm actually like in things like the Mixer community one and stuff. Cause I like to keep an eye on what's going on. As you do. But yeah, like a lot of my own stuff for Discord and that, a lot of it is kind of, I've got a lot of different bits and pieces set up primarily to see how it works on a practical stage rather than me just testing stuff. So some of it I like, some of it I'm not so sure about. I could really do with, there's one bot that I have on Discord right now which is a Final Fantasy XIV specific bot called Cooper Bot, which is phenomenally good for helping people find out information about the game and stuff. So it was pretty much a no-brainer for me to put it on the Discord because Final Fantasy XIV is probably going to be my main game. Now, that all being said, I'm probably going to be switching into various other MMOs as we go. Like, I do actually want to look at things like Destiny 2 on PC and stuff like that. Now, that being said, the beta for that isn't necessarily getting, like, the best reception. So I don't know right now. But, you know, I might still end up looking at it anyway. Because I never had a chance to check out like the first Destiny game, and with the second one coming to PC, I'm kinda tempted. Just because it's a again, although it's an MMO, they'll never say it's an MMO. But you know you've got raiding, you've got gear progression, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's an MMO basically. But because of the style of it, it's certainly a little bit more different, and it'll be interesting to see just in terms of if it will actually progress from what people are talking about now to the actual beta for the PC and then its eventual launch. So we shall have to see. So it might end up becoming a game on here. It might not. It does interest me more for in terms of stuff of what I can do on Mixer. Just for like in terms of like having the option to do like co-op streams and stuff makes a lot of sense for anything that has group-based activities. So MMOs, it seems like it would make sense where it's like you could have like everyone in your group in your co-op and they'll all be streaming. I would have thought. Now, whether that would necessarily translate, I don't know. But you know, if we don't try, we'll never know. And that is actually one of the things I'm hoping to kind of try and organise with various people in the free company, which is effectively a guild in 14. That's one of the things I do actually want to try out. So like actually kind of get enough people streaming the same thing at the same time, but from different player perspectives. We shall see, though. It's one of those, like, whether it actually happens or not, who knows. But you know, I'm quietly planning for this, that, and everything else, with the general hopeful aim of having some cool stuff on here. But a lot of it is just kind of, we'll see what happens. Now, we're close into the reset here, where I am going to start grabbing people from free company. Who's playing what? Some of them are away already. Damn. Some of them are away, some of them are already in other stuff. They're all getting stuff done before the reset. I was probably the only one who was a bit faster. Yeah. There's only a few of us who are basically just standing around waiting. Shall we see if people want to join up? Let's find out. This is one of these as well. It's like I'm trying to organise it, and the very obvious reason for this is if I queue by myself, kind of like what happened with the last dungeon we just did. It's like if I queue by myself, it's going to be a long wait. Whoop! My phone vibrating everywhere. Let's see. Alright. With this, I'm just trying to make sure people don't overlap. It's revenues. Hello. I know, dude. What the hell? What is this madness? Yeah, now I'm going to spend like the next 5 minutes basically organising what the rest of the group is doing. Right. This is rapid typing. Right. Yeah, dude. I'm like all basically shiny and new on here, dude. Oh, someone said the wrong thing. This is why trying to organize this stuff is a nightmare, because it's like I'll use my free company because we're a nice bunch, and then it's trying to get stuff to be organized. Oh, it never works. But yeah, dude. I mean, I've been away for a long time because I've been doing this, that, and everything else, and I am actually still working at Logical Increments. But my schedule is such now where I have a lot more freedom. So I'm actually, for one, I'm actually getting back into doing streaming like I was doing on Twitch, but I'm doing it here mainly because, you know, at this point I've been 2 years almost like away from that platform. So it's like I might as well start on something that's quite cool and shiny and new, and then if anyone else wants to find me, they can do. Well, at least that's the plan. I moved off Cerberus onto Omega, so I'm on Omega here. So yeah, I'm even on new servers. Sorry. It took me a while to reply to that because it's like I was just group juggling there for a minute. Oh dear. It would be nice if it was, you know, nice and easy to play. Oh dear. How have you been anyway, dude? Oh, you're going back the other way? I don't know. I mean, Omega's quite nice.
I think they've actually said that this is like a similar population now to everything. So I don't think it's going to matter, like as far as like server populations and stuff like that. In terms of like what's what. But yeah. You see, now that makes sense. Yeah, I sort of figured that like with doing like so much of this stuff new, like on Mixer here, I'm very much in a sort of setup where, God, my phone's going off like crazy here. But yeah, I'm in a situation where I can try and do different sort of things on here. Like, have you seen like some of the co-op stuff you can do? Like some of the co-op things you can do on here are like, I don't want to use the word bonkers, but like bonkers in a good way. And yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff you can do on here. I'm actually desperately trying to organise to get a number of my free company folks set up on here, because like with the co-op streams you can literally just have it all where you can either switch from camera to camera, or you can have like a combined view where it's like it almost works like picture in picture and stuff. In a very broad sense, I should say. It doesn't quite work that way. But yeah, like, because a lot of the stuff's like super shiny, brand new on here. Where are you going? Aha. But yeah, like, because it's like there's that much new stuff on here, there's just so many different options for stuff. It's quite cool. It's like I'm already trying to organize stuff. I'm doing things like I'm already one of the wiki editors for the Mixer subreddit and stuff like that. I've been on like an organisation spree like nothing on earth. And because of my work with logical increments and stuff as well, although it's like not on now, I've actually been looking at, because I'm technically coming from like a pre-existing network with like both that stuff, and also like my numbers from like back in Twitch days were enough for it. I'm actually seeing if I can actually get partners straight off the bat here. Oh no! Sorry, I just about got out the way of that. Oh dear. Why are we doing this way? I have a feeling our tanks haven't run this before. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to still see that there's stuff still going on at Twitch, and you know, as much as some people like to crap on Twitch, I mean, I've got nothing against Twitch, but yeah, it's like, because this is like a newer platform, there's a lot more stuff here right now that actually interests me. So yeah, there's lots of stuff really. And it is interesting to see that like because like both platforms are now actually getting worked, and like Twitch is having a lot of improvements and stuff, and obviously with Mixer being a newer place, like Microsoft are doing an awful lot of behind the scenes work here. And it's interesting to kind of see like how the two different platforms are kind of developing different bits at what pace. And I do think like some of it for each platform, they're kind of doing it to kind of not so much counter each other, but you know, to give people like other options. So like you will find some features on here as similar to what they are on Twitch, whereas like some of them are very different on here. Like I was actually, before I started, 'cause, like today is actually the same, like literally like day one for doing this properly on here. And the one thing I will say, the one thing I will say on here is it's, oh, and thank you for the follow, dude, as well. It's always nice to see an old name back. Look at that. And one of the things that's actually quite interesting with stuff on here, when I was testing it the weekend, and I've never been able to get anywhere near this on Twitch, I was streaming at 10,000 kilobytes clean through onto here at the weekend when I was testing stuff out. I'm not streaming at that level now because admittedly it would melt my system over time, but it's nice to know the capacity is there to do it. And yeah, it was basically, it was as close to a clean 1080p 60 FPS as I could possibly get it. It was cool, man. And like just stuff like that where it's like, and Twitch is getting better at that because like for ages they've had like the bandwidth limits, but like they've started upping those a lot more for people recently. But yeah, it's a very different sort of style of stuff. And they do have like things like the FTL stuff here as well, which, you know, at my heart I'm a big nerd, so, you know, I like stuff like that. It's like, you're offering me a big nerdy option to do stuff. It's like, oh, it's too tempting. That's the problem. It's not even really a problem. It's just a nice thing to have. But yeah, this is only 720 at the minute. I'm just doing it for ease, because unless you actually have the partner stuff activated on here, the transposing stuff only does a 480p stream, I think, if my memory serves right. And like for stuff like that, you know, it's like I could dump a really high quality 1080p stream on here, but there's no point. At least not until I get partner, because then it's like you get like multiple transcode levels, and the FTL stuff is kind of, it's bonkers and at the same time really, really cool. I would still say that's probably the only limitation that you get on Twitch as such, is, you know, the length of time between what someone says on chat versus how quickly I can reply. But that's about it, really. I mean, that's always the thing with like newer platforms like this. I mean, hell, Hitbox had that issue. You know, that was kind of one of like the last things I was like messing around with the last time I was doing stuff. You know, like hell, Hitbox has even changed now. Like 2 months back, they changed to what was it, Smashcast. So you know, it's like, it's not as if you can kind of just make a platform and suddenly people will flock. You know, you have to actually have something relatively compelling there. So it will be interesting just to see like what happens in terms of like how they build that out. But yeah, I do quite like the actual fast response stuff. You know, for me, someone who does like to have a bit of a natter, it is nice to have that option. Like for one, to actually have like the quicker interaction, but then you know, that works both ways, both for me and then also people for watching as well. But again, that's not something I don't think it's active on here right now. I think it is still a there is talk about, like, kind of similar to what transcoding was for Twitch for a while, where it was only available for non-partners if it was quiet enough. I believe FTL is still in a similar situation right now, where it's like, unless you're a partner, it doesn't turn on. But like, even without it, I mean, my actual, again, one of my many tests, I think the slowest it ever is if you're on mobile, and then I think it's around about 15-second delay, which isn't horrific, and it's about the same as what you get on like Twitch or something. But yeah, at the minute anyway, the FTL stuff is only as fast on PC, so it's like you don't really see a massive difference anyway. I mean, on PC I think my average delay is around about 7 seconds. So yeah, it's a lot cleaner for me anyway. Yeah, man. I think that's kind of it's an interesting way of them showing that they are actually beginning to increase their capacity now. You know, think of like, again, like going back to like stuff I had like 2+ almost years back. Trying to get like an actual response from staff was like a damn nightmare. And that's like, at least from myself, as like for community perspective stuff, like the fact that they're putting the effort into like not only interacting more with people who are watching and streaming, but giving them like the actual technical stuff that's needed. You know, all the stuff like that is a massive bonus. And yeah, it's like, admittedly, some people might say, oh well, you know, Twitch only did it because Microsoft bought, like, what was this? Because this was Beam and then it got changed to Mixer. But I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case. I would say it's more just the fact that, you know, it does take time for like platforms to actually make these like big sort of changes. I think it just genuinely took them a long time to actually get the setup in place to be able to run that stuff sort of thing properly. And yeah, it's like when I was doing stuff, it was very much a case of you could only really do like the all or nothing thing. So it's kind of nice now for like, for those who actually did manage to stick with it. Now admittedly, you know, like I was offered other things, so I ended up having to, it was the option of, well, I either keep on streaming and not getting anywhere, or I go and work for this nice group of people who will actually give me some stuff, and maybe I can do stuff further down the line. Which, in the end, is what I'm doing now. But yeah, man, it's a much nicer thing for me because I was involved with it in the past, to see that there's still people who I knew who are doing that, and that they're now actually starting to get the benefits for doing it, which is like probably the bigger thing. And that's like a big thing as well. It's like, you know, especially like with most of the like people like yourself and like other streamers and stuff, I know it's like we do this because like we like streaming and playing games and all the rest of it. But at the same time, like for a lot of people, it becomes a point of where it's hard to kind of see like what the end goal is. So it's, at least for Twitch, like especially like for keeping people on the platform, that's a massive thing for them. Like to be able to say like, well, you know, if you stay with us, we can give you this, and this. So yeah, man, it's all a changing. I'm working for Logical Increments. It's a tech site. If you literally just type in Logical Increments on Google, it'll be like the top result. But yeah, I do like a lot of different stuff on there. There's like stuff like various like game guides and technical builds and stuff, and PC builds, new technology, PC builds, and all this sort of stuff. There's a lot of different bits and pieces I do on there. But yeah, keeps me very, very busy. But the one thing I have that's handy now is I can effectively set my own schedule. So for me, I can do a lot of my stuff for that, like essentially either A, very late in the evening, or also at weekends, which is part of like how I've set my schedule on here. So there's a lot of stuff like that where hey Ender, in fairness, the guy above you in chat was asking about it. It's not my fault. But yeah, so because I do have a little bit more freedom, that's essentially why I'm now streaming again. I get the freedom to do stuff. But yeah, normally speaking, I won't actually particularly mention my work, because like while I'm essentially on here, just outside of catching up, this is pretty much all I'm doing. It has been a while, dude. It has been a while. It's Final Fantasy, non-map stuff. Well, some of the number crunchers would probably disagree with you on that, but I won't. I just purely play for fun. I'm not, although there's nothing against it, I'm not the sort of like number crunchers for like best in slot and all that sort of stuff. I just play because it's fun. It's a lot easier. It's also a lot less stressful if you don't start number crunching stuff. At least that's my logic. It's like if I'm not worrying about what the best in slot stuff is, then it's fine. At least I'm not Japanese. Yeah, I mean it's... I don't know if that's so much... I was talking more with Revenues about this, but I don't know if that's like a Twitch thing or what. But there doesn't seem to be quite as many people streaming this game at all. Like at least in like either like European-ish times. Like there's a few I know who do it on Twitch, like the big established guys like Mr. Happy, Miss Tech does stuff on her stream and that as well. Oops. So you know, it's not as if like there aren't established people on there, but there doesn't seem to be quite as many people streaming it as say like World of Warcraft would be or something. And there certainly isn't as many on here. Where is there? Oh, it's behind me. That's why I didn't see it. I was like, why didn't I see the thing? Oh, we so didn't kill that, I don't think. I don't think we killed that at all. Oh, maybe we did. I'm not paying enough attention because I'm kind of like... I'm just kind of nattering away and streaming. I really should pay attention. You'd think I would. Not so much. But yeah, I mean, it's because there's just not a lot of people streaming this game, period. And there's also not a massive amount of people on this platform right now. So it's like, yeah, why not? I mean, I was saying it to Revenues earlier as well, where it's like, because there's the very short latency on here, it's a lot easier for me to actually talk to people, which, like, for being like a little bit more technically minded and but also just wanting to chat with people, it's a lot more useful for that. And yeah, any time you can find more people streaming this is always a good thing. It needs more people streaming it, to be honest. I really should get a little bit better about positioning myself before I backflip myself out of actual like combat range. I just flip myself down the stairs and I can't actually see what I'm doing. Oops. Ooh, my lord. I could go lunging in here, but it's got no health. Do it on the guy that spawns in. Far better. Oh, what is that nonsense? Because it was going past me as I hit the skill, it decided to cancel it for me. Like, what is this nonsense? The game is deciding for me whether it actually wants to attack or not. I'm literally just trying to stay still long enough to get these things to pop. Because we completely ignored the ice glaciers until it was too late. Ew. I will have to, dude, while you're still on here. Yeah, there's actually, as I say, this is the first DPS I've actually bothered to get all the way up to 70. I played through all the way on my Astrolugian. That was like the one I actually played the expansion with, and like the first week or so. And yeah, other stuff I've kind of got like between 60 and ish 70, but this is like the first DPS I've bothered to get all the way up. To the point of where I literally hit 70 at the weekend. So yeah, I'm now in a case of I do actually need to get myself some gear and sort myself out. Yeah, I think did you transfer early on or not? But I think there's isn't it like it's like 90 days from the day you transfer, isn't it? If I'm remembering correctly. I think it's 90 days, yeah? So I'm assuming you've still got essentially what is like 2 months worth to wait. Oh dude. Heaven's Ward takes a while. It doesn't, I mean it's actually a lot nicer than A Realm Reborn. But like you can really tell. Oh, that's my screw up. I didn't realize I'd gone that far forwards. You can really tell that they've gotten a lot better at their pacing in the game for like their storytelling. Like from Realm Reborn to Heaven's Ward to Stormblood. There's a much nicer overall flow. What are we going for? Yoink. So yeah, it's a lot better than like each previous sort of section of story. But yeah, I really enjoyed both Heaven's Ward and Stormblood. They both had like their really cool moments to it. Oh boy! I almost dove myself into that then. That would have been bad. But yeah, I will say like the Heaven's Ward story, although it is nicer than A Realm Reborn, there are still parts of it where it does feel like you're not so much doing stuff for the sake of it, but like things like I'm trying not to give spoilers here as well with you saying you're only just up to it. But like have you got up to the Warriors of Darkness yet? Why have you put that over there? No! It's gonna suck. Eep. Almost dead. We finished anyway. As a favourite NPC would say, sloppy. Oh dear. Yeah, that's the one thing I do kind of wish they still would put more work into, because they, even with like Stormwood, they made a lot of the class progression and stuff a lot nicer. Just in terms of like what skills you get and when, and like how you unlock jobs and stuff is way more streamlined now, because you don't have to worry about like secondary classes and things. But yeah, man, it's for newer players there is still that sort of, especially early on, of it seems like it takes a long time to get hardly anywhere. And it's kind of and that's not just in this game. I mean, that happens in like a lot of MMOs and story games in general. It's like it's kind of like a very slow burn to get yourself going. Ooh, the Grand Google Library. That's a really good dungeon. Like, really good dungeon. So yeah, at least you're... If you're doing that, you're not like... you're not like a million miles away, but... Yeah, that's like a big sort of turning point in the story. I'm trying not to give spoilers. If I said anything more than that, it would seem a little bit... It would seem a little bit too spoilery for you. So I don't want to spoil it for you. Stuff starts to get good. Body. Run to the door. And yeah, it's like I even said it like way back when, like hell, like when I was actually streaming this like on Twitch many moons ago. Like I always said I really liked the dungeon design and stuff in the game. And all that being said, some of their new dungeon design in Stormblood, when you get to it, and admittedly you may see some of it if you keep watching the stream, especially as I'm just about to do the expert roulette after this, which will be Stormblood stuff. But yeah, some of their dungeon design in Stormblood is absolutely phenomenal. Which for me is like, you know, I'm still and always will be like a PvE based player. So you know, for me it's just, oh, it's so good. Oh yeah, that's actually what I did. I leveled a paladin first, and once I actually hit 60 with the paladin, I then went back through and unlocked Ashtalugian, and that's basically what I played until Stormblood hit. It's all been spoiled anyway. Yeah, I mean it's kind of the thing with the dungeons themselves. They can kind of exist as their own thing without being too story spoilery, just purely because of how they lay out the cutscenes and stuff. Because you'd only ever get a cutscene essentially like at the start and at the end of a dungeon that would be like relating to story. So like at the minute, like my setup automatically skips that anyway because I've already played through it. So yeah, at least for like the main stuff, it won't spoil anything. Oh wow. You know, I will say I wasn't that fussed with samurai myself, but they do a buttload of damage. I didn't get anything off there then before they killed that little rock before that I didn't even manage to get a single skill channel out. Too OP for me. And yeah, it was kind of one of those things of, especially with the way they were building up parts of the game, they weren't talking too much about like their dungeons and stuff for the expansion. At least to the point of where anyone could make like an opinion on what like they were going to be like and stuff. So yeah, it was good to know that they hadn't completely screwed everything up when the expansion came out. Not that I thought they would, mind you, but yeah, it was nice to know that there was still a lot of really good content. Okay, that was interesting, just because there wasn't enough space for it, decided to slide me across the wall. It's meant to drop the pet. Well, it's not meant to drop it all the time, mind you, but I very rarely see it drop these days. I do wonder if they've changed that. It's not fair, it's just the thing, I don't use any of the minions anyway, really. It's one of those things of, I very rarely bother having a minion out. I did have my anima one out, just because having to grind for that anima took forever. So like that's probably the only minion I ever had out for a while. But as it's not a thing that exists now, or well, you can still do it, but it's like they haven't released like their new version yet. So mainly because of that, it's like I don't really feel as much need to have it. I've got loads of pets, dude, in the game. I've got 42 in total, of which I don't really use any. But yeah, it's like I use my anima one every now and then. That's about it. Yeah, it's like if I see one that I haven't but I haven't had before, it's like I'll get it if no one else wants it, but yeah, it's not as if it's a like super duper priority for me. It's sort of one of those you know, nice if no one else wants it sort of thing. Oh, that hurt. What the hell hit me though? Was it? It must have been his line. I thought I was out the way of his AoE. Apparently not. Game decided no. Oh no! It's all gone horribly wrong. I can't revive anyone in this as well because it's a level 50 encounter. It's all going horribly wrong. Oh, ow. Well, Everyone else is dead. So I might as well just die. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. Oh, man. I'm having to casually explain tactics. Right. There we go. It's like very rapid typing. Type. I do still keep forgetting that not necessarily everyone's run through this stuff. I sort of make assumptions. Very bad assumptions at times. It's like sort of a thing of, oh well, you know, the game is like however many years old at this point. Surely everyone's played the stuff new. It's one of the good things with the game, actually, with it being such a, not just a popular game, but also one where there's a lot of people like who are actually actively joining the game for the first time and stuff. It's a very nice change of pace. Certainly from, like, you know, compared to say like the Old Republic or something. I did generally have a little look in on the Old Republic, but yeah, it doesn't look like they're doing that good. Poor things. It all went downhill when I left. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Where did that spawn in? Oh wow, it's like way down there. I didn't even see that. Not gonna lie. But yeah, as I say, I sort of oh, just about got away with that. I sort of wish that, like, certainly like games like that, I do sort of wish at some point they would have sorted their stuff out, but apparently not. And yeah, to be honest, at this point, it's like I'm now so far beyond playing the Old Republic at this point. It's like there's nothing really that is incentivizing me to go back and play it, which is a shame. To be honest, it would have been nice if they'd actually sort of built off the success that they'd had with like the recent expansions and stuff, but it doesn't really seem like it's the case. So as such, I'm now playing a game that actually does give a damn. That's kind of like the weird thing with this. Well, it's not even a weird thing. I mean, it's a very different sort of thing. Like playing a game that has a lot of very active updates. Oh boy, that's gonna suck. Yeah. I was just waiting for that hit. Yeah, I didn't actually have to do anything there. Yeah. Samurai is too OP for me. Yeah, man. Yoshida runs a tight ship. But also because of that, we get a lot of updates. So are you still just going to be planning on sticking with your tank once you've actually played through like the piles of story, or are you thinking about wanting to play something else? Because I did start playing as a tank. You know, I had good intentions, honest. Yeah, but admittedly, once the expansion came out, Red Mage got me hooked. That was the thing as well, it's like when I was initially thinking about coming back to streaming, like part of it was, you know, especially like with thinking about coming back and wanting to stream like an MMO and things, like a big part of that was, well, it's like if I am going to be streaming stuff, it's like, do I want to kind of either A, be sitting in a queue, although admittedly it's like normally if I'm doing stuff it's going to be like with free company anyway, but it's like if I do stuff solo, do I want to be sitting there in a queue for DPS versus like instant queue pops with tanks? But yeah, it's like I don't really mind because these guys pretty much always group up and do stuff. So it's like, eh. Like the main thing I'm doing is just hiding chat. That's the only thing that's behind all this stuff on the left. It's a convenient size to hide everything. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like we've sort of got the same ideas, but again, like for the most part, I mean, although I'm effectively going to be on a lot more now, I mean, for the most part, we're like a pretty casual group anyway. So it's not as if, you know, we must be hardcore, we must get the gear, we must get it now, and we must raid like crazy. Not that. But at the same time, we still want to run through that stuff. Cool. Just casually informing the guys who are new to this how to actually run this last boss. Because there's two of them who haven't actually done it before. See what I mean now about making assumptions? About whether people have played the stuff or not. Yeah, man. I've always been the same with stuff like this, though. I mean, I was the same like way back with the Old Republic as well. Just kind of being particular in terms of like what sort of groups I join in and stuff. So yeah, it's like once I knew I wanted to get onto Omega, just because like Cerberus, it was becoming a bit of a zoo. But again, it's like if you can actually find a good group on there, then that's great. So it's like when you saying you were going back on there, it's like at least you're going back on there to join a group of people you know, so it makes sense. But Yeah, it's like if you're... How do we do this? If you're trying to like just join random groups and stuff, it doesn't make as much sense, but yeah, it's like having got like the nice group here, it's like it does me quite nicely. But yeah, that was kind of a big thing of when I moved onto Omega for the launch, I was very particular with myself in that, because I was going to be running through the Stormblood story anyway. So, like, because I was going to be doing like the 60 to 70 story stuff. Oh, I really didn't want that, but everyone else left it. But yeah, like, because I was like going to be doing the story stuff first anyway, I wasn't in a... Hang on, I'm just telling them. People are disappearing to have food and stuff now. So I was just making them be aware of it. But yeah, like, because I was going to be doing the Stormblood story first, I wasn't in a particular rush to like join NEFC particularly like early on. And that was a big thing when the actual server opened. It was a whole mess, but yeah. It took a while to find a nice group. But yeah, man, I say, yeah, thank you very much for coming in and saying hi, man. Been good catching up. It's been too long. It's been too long. But yeah, hopefully see you again a bit. I mean, I'm still going to be streaming for like another hour. So, yeah, hopefully see you back. If not, I will be back this evening. I know I kicked them, but they were actually logging off. It's like I wasn't being mean, honest. Is Takara going off as well? Let's see. I'm going to see if any of these guys are actually wanting to do expert roulette. It's literally the last one I have to do. Alright, so I am actually going to get the weapon from this. Just because the next step up is a bit of a pain. So I might as well go for weapon first. Get my mighty weapon. Yoink. So, where does that put me on stuff here? Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a while before I get the 310 stuff, basically. There's no two ways about that. It's gonna take a while. I mean, I say a while, I'm being very vague with that. I mean, realistically, my schedule is such on here that I'd be able to, like, get the 310 stuff relatively quickly. Which will do me more than enough to the point of where I can get started with the rest of the free company stuff. Because they want to start doing Omega. Which is handy, because so do I. It all works out well in the end. You know, the reason why I say I do have all this stuff on is so that I don't show like free company chat and stuff. But yeah, some of the some of the stuff that gets put on chat, I'm also kind of glad sometimes that I haven't got it on stream, because I've got the stream set for like team, so like if you don't know like much about Mixer, you can kind of set the ratings for stuff on here. And that's only really because it's like, well, it's not an adult game, but at the same time, it's like, if I screw up and I swear or something, it gives me that wiggle room. So it's like, if there is screw ups, we have the wiggle room to work with. But at the same time, it also means that I can't necessarily equate with some of the stuff that's being put on the FC chat. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily because of like stuff I've done in the past with like community management stuff or not, but for the most part I would say that I can control, like there is a little bit of a filter there, like just about between the brain and what comes out the mic. But yeah, I will say, like, I have seen, it's like, have you seen like some of the stuff on YouTube, like things like the stream fails and stuff like that like always pops up, where it's like just like massive breakdowns or like insanely inappropriate stuff that appears on streams and stuff. So it's like, at the same time, it's like I can control myself, and I also, because of how I'm doing things a little bit differently on here, that's why I haven't got things like the webcam and stuff up. So, you know, there is a little bit more control there. But yeah, it's like at the same time I can completely understand when some people are like, no, it's like there's no filter there, all sorts of nonsense can spew out. I can completely understand. "11-minute Kudo for expert roulette. It's a scandal." You see, people always say that, and then they have one thing that gets like passed around like the entire internet. It's like, you've done this one thing, it's there forever now. Look at this. We will hold this against you for the rest of time. I would say I'm surprised there's a decent sized queue for this, but I'm not overly. I mean, the expert roulette is, there's not as many people running it really. Plus, it's not as if I'm queuing it with a full group, which would have made it instant anyway. But yeah, man, I mean, it's, at the end of the day with streaming stuff, I mean, it doesn't particularly matter, like, the size of a stream and stuff. I mean, it's, if you look at it in, like, the very broad professional sense, then, you know, obviously people will, for lack of a better phrase, they will make, like, maybe assumptions and stuff based on, like, you know, oh, this person has, you know, X amount of followers, or they have, like, you know, whatever amount of views and so on and so forth. So, like, off the platform that you're on, so, like, with yourself on Twitch, is like, you'll probably find that, like, say if you went to, like, somewhere where you wanted to do giveaways and stuff. I mean, I got this with, like, EA and stuff back in the day, where it's like, because you have, like, X amount of people following your stuff and watching at the time and stuff, all of a sudden they go, yeah, we'll give you a load of stuff to give away. Now, I guarantee you, if I went back to those same people and I said, hey, it's me again, and by the way, I'm actually starting off this brand new thing, and I have like 4 people following me right now, and, you know, we just kind of hang out and chill and stuff, and we just talk. I guarantee you they would go, yeah, we're not interested. But yeah, I mean, it's a very contextual thing, and it's like a lot of different places will see what you do in very different ways. And yeah, man, free advertising. I always thought that was a funny thing with Legendary Lear on Twitch as well. It was like every time something went, you know, every time something slipped, shall we say, she became more and more popular each time, and it kind of like just snowballed. Yeah. Bad publicity is still publicity. Why Scouse Lite and not Bobbickin? Personal preference based on the fact that it was a new platform, and that I was effectively starting something new. So like there was that sort of side of things, but as far as like the actual name stuff goes, Scouse Lite is sort of a thing that people who are from the world, like myself, tend to be generally called. If you hear someone from Liverpool asking to describe people from the world, a lot of times they'll be called things like that, and it's like, it was just a random thing that I decided on. It's like, I'm not exactly Scouse, but at the same time, it's like if I try and describe where I'm from, it's far easier for me just to say Liverpool. It saves hassle, and my accent is close enough where, unless you're from the area, realistically you're not really going to get enough of a difference in there. So yeah, that's the only reason why I went with the name. Plus again, it kind of gives me not so much freedom as such, but it gives me a little bit more wiggle room to, if I do want to do things differently on here versus how I did stuff on Twitch. It does still give me that wiggle room to do it. Whereas, let's say if I did just start doing stuff back up as Bald Brick Gamer, I would probably have thought that, although some things might end up being similar anyway, stuff might end up just being like people might expect a certain sort of thing from me, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I went with a new name anyway. Hey, Twirlywig, hello. Hello, hello, hello. I'm actually surprised there's a really long queue for Expert. I was hoping for a... I was kind of hoping for a quicker pop on this, but oh well. Hey, and thank you for the follow as well, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's like, people will still call me Chris and stuff anyway. So that's fine as well, dude. You know, it's like, I kind of expect that regardless. People are going to call me whatever. It's like whatever suits them. But yeah, Twirlywig, thank you very much for the follow. That's officially 5 people. We haven't even got to the end of day 1. It's all going. It's all kicking off. Yeah, if I was like a slightly more like hyper energetic guy, which I'm not, I'm generally quite a chill guy, but that would very much be one of those things of like, Motor 100! Whoop, whoop. Hey Sinister, hello. It is going very well, dude, on here. I'm not so much new to streaming, but I am new to here on Mixer, and it's very cool. I'm really enjoying it, man. But yeah, I do like the fact that I can, because things aren't as bonkers on here, you know, because it's all shiny and new and things are still growing and stuff. It gives me a lot more time to actually sit and chat with people, which is great. It does give me a little bit more freedom. Ah, Poison, thank you very much for the follow as well, dude. It's all happening now, folks. But yeah, thank you very much for the follow, buddy. See, they all thought I was mad for starting on Mixer. See, why don't you go on Twitch? And it's like, because Twitch is a madhouse. I can be chill on here, we can talk, we can hang out. I will say, between Mixer's own bot that stays in the chat, and then I also have StreamJar, because StreamJar pings, because StreamJar is what handles my overlay on stream and stuff. So I don't have StreamJar. I may have to go and adjust StreamJar so it doesn't say it as well. And then I have my main bot for handling stuff. There's an awful lot of bots that say hello to people every time someone follows. Yeah. That's the thing, Sinister. I mean, realistically, I mean, here's the thing that kind of got me for coming onto Mixer. It's like, realistically, you know, I could have gone back onto my... I have an existing profile you can go and vaguely find on Twitch. It's still there, I think. I don't think I actually deleted it, because I'm Bored Brit Gamer on there. And, you know, there was a whole thing of... you know, I had like so many thousands of followers. I think the average stream was like 300 odd. I peaked at like, I think my highest peak was like 1200 people in the chat, and it's just like, for someone like me, especially like for starting out with people, you know, wanting to kind of, and thank you for the follow as well there, by the way. But I'll finish my train of thought before going back to that. Because I very much wanted to get to the point of, you know, getting to know a community and help build up a group of people on here. And yeah, like, especially like for like a new platform, having that freedom to be able to actually talk to people and actually see what they like and what they don't like, and you know, kind of build it with a group of people. That sort of thing I couldn't realistically do on Twitch, I don't think. At least not to the sort of stuff I want to do anyway. And, you know, it's like I could have gone back to do stuff on Twitch. Now I would, I don't doubt that like most of the people who are following me then have probably disappeared anyway. But obviously it would have given me like a higher level to start off on. But it's like at that point it's like, well, if I'm gonna be redoing something brand new, why not do it on a new platform? You know, especially one that's like still getting. You know, Microsoft have said that they are very much still like in development, as we shall say, for this. So, you know, it's still very much early days. You know, there are still a few issues. Stuff happens on streams where it's like, you know, quality will just randomly drop sometimes for some people and so on and so forth. But it's like, it's a new platform. And, you know, yeah, it's like what you were just saying before in chat. It's like, getting in now while things are less bonkers is the best time to do it. Because it means you can actually get a nice group together. And like, if you are wanting to try and build a channel up and like build a group of people who will not just watch your stuff but also just hang out and talk and stuff, it makes a big difference doing it like when things are very brand new. Dude, I haven't had as long to watch stuff yet. I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes testing stuff. It's like if you'd ended up watching some of my stuff this past weekend, even though like I didn't put anything out for it because I was testing everything, and yeah, like because I've been doing like a lot of like the testing stuff, like just testing like bandwidth and string qualities and all the rest of it. I haven't had as much chance to watch stuff, but it is so addictive to mess with some of the stuff on here, like the interactive stuff. Oh, I love it. It's like some of the stuff you can mess with. It's so much fun. Yeah, it's very true, dude. I mean, it's one of the things I'm going to be doing now. I mean, I'm probably going to be, well, depending on how long this next dungeon is when it pops up in a bit, that will possibly be my last one. Look at that timing. This will probably be like my, well, actually no, it's only 15:15. There'll probably be another dungeon before it, but I'll be finishing at 6, and then I'll be doing an evening stream. But after my evening stream, I'll probably be like going to the gym or something, which will be like crazy late, but I can go to the gym anytime here. And so like for stuff like that, it's like I'll basically be, it'll be phone on a stream, probably maybe one or two things just kind of bouncing between and watching stuff while I'm in there. Especially as some of the stuff, it's like because you can like switch through to audio only as well. So like if I wanted to just listen to stuff, I could do as well. The time it is for me now is just coming up to 5:20. I make sure that the in-game clock is set to my local time rather than anything else, just so that if people are coming in at other time zones, it's an easy way to tell. Just so it's like, yeah, there's a lot of different stuff in time zones. That's always the big thing. Ah. Whereabouts are you from, dude? This is always my easy thing to figure out stuff. It's like, where's everyone from? It's always a bad way for me to like guess where people are from, because it always goes horribly wrong. Only 2 more hours of work. Oh, poor revenues. Almost to the end of the day, dude. Damn, New Jersey. Yeah, so that's not too many hours out at least. Oh crap, I forgot about them. But yeah, it's like I've seen some people from like all over. I had like some person very briefly drop in who I think was maybe Japanese or Chinese this morning, and they like promptly like disappeared again. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, it's one of the cool things I really do like about streaming in general. It's just because like you can it's like, it's not like TV or something that you can just watch from anywhere. It's the coolest thing. Oh, and you're hosting as well, dude. Thank you very much, buddy. Much thanks. Thank you very much. Yeah. It's like, I say that whilst I'm trying to play and it doesn't work. I'm always the same with this. It's like, if I'm having to think for a second... Ooh! No! Tank went down! Nearly went down! I so didn't spot that until it was too late. No, leave me alone. They've got no health, but they all hit. Run away! Oh, dearie me. Alright. We'll try and keep the tank up. Until the rest turn up. I so didn't notice that until it was way too late. I literally was doing everything but paying attention to health because it tends to be the default thing for any DPS. But it's why I have like my heal and my revive here, because it's like they give you the options, so why wouldn't you? But yeah, when I'm not paying attention to chat, oh well, if I'm not paying attention to chat, it's usually because I'm paying attention in game. Then if I'm paying attention to chat, it's the other way around. So it's like I should pay a little bit more attention. Oh dear. Yeah, dude. And that was it. It's like I could have technically have like restarted doing stuff of my own on Twitch, but it's like at that point it's like what kickback am I gonna get from it versus like effectively starting new anyway, you know? So, you know, for that it's like, well, I may get a little bit of a head start if I'd started again on my Twitch stuff, but I can have more fun on here. Revenues has it exactly correct. I play on PC. I don't mind the controller so much in this. I do actually quite like, because I have Monk up to 66, and I do actually like playing that with a controller, but I've just kind of left everything because I've been playing Red Mage. But Monk plays really well with a controller. Oh boy. But yeah, Monk is kind of one of those that actually really plays well, and it's not the only one. I mean, loads of them do actually play quite well with a controller. It's just, it's one of those personal preference things. I'm too much of a traditional PC player to kind of leave my keyboard and mouse away for too long. It just doesn't happen. Yeah, I think for our company in game, I think we actually are getting relatively close to a 50-50 split. And it's hard to tell exactly all the time, but we do try and keep tabs on it on our FC Discord and things, like just to see like exactly who's doing what. And yeah, it's surprising how many people you do actually get playing it on the console versus the PC, which is cool, to be honest. The fact that it actually plays and plays quite well as well. Yeah. Whoop! He dead. And yeah, at least for me on a practical level, it's like, I'm too much of a person who likes to have like 20 million different things running at once behind the scenes as well. So it's like, I've got things like Discord open, I've got chat, I've got OBS running, I've got my bot UI up and stuff, and there's this, that and everything else all just kind of running on a second screen that I have. So yeah, it's partly the fact that it's for me, it's always like, you've got to play on PC. But at the same time, I know loads of people who don't, so it works either way. Wow! Those are so loud. Just because they were behind me then? They've got some bass to them. Yeah, dude. That's the... God, every time with the bass off then. Is that... I'm just curious, because I'm obviously only getting the in-game audio. Is that coming out quite loud to you guys? Like, the sound off those things? It was literally just off the little push things there. They just seemed really loud. I don't know if it's just because it's my... I don't know if it's like just because my headset is quite... It has like a very relatively high bass on it, but it's like, I could hear that. It was quite noticeable. And yeah, I don't have the option for anything quite that quick here in the UK. I do have like what is effectively the fastest internet you can get here in the UK right now. And luckily, it does allow me to have like even up to like the 10,000 kilobytes per second upload max on here right now. I can use that, so it's it's more than stable enough for that, at least. So, you know, I'm not going to have like any worries with that anytime soon, but yeah, it's we haven't got anything quite as fast as gigabit here in the UK yet. Like, I'm on the fastest, which is, I want to say it's like 200 meg. I think it's about that anyway. They actually, I mean, in fairness, the company that does it over here, they do upgrade it every now and then. So like every so often it'll be like a slightly faster connection. Because like they are at least doing a job of like trying to upgrade stuff. Now you see, admittedly, I'm not so much cheating a little bit with my stream here, but this comes a lot of knowing how to actually fiddle around with my encoder, and also that's the main reason why I tested bandwidths and stuff, over the weekend. It was literally to double check exactly how to set things out to get a nice clean stream on here. And it's not, it's kind of one of those things, it's like, I say clean stream, you're not going to get a perfect stream anyway. Oh, for God's sake. Sorry. Just flip down there, that's fine. God damn it. I didn't even realise there was a drop there. Oh dear. Sorry, where was I? Yeah, for streaming and stuff, it'll never be perfect right now anyway, because there's a couple of things in terms of the fact that it's a new platform. They're working on like the transcodes and stuff that happens behind the scenes a lot. So depending on exactly which ingest server you hit and stuff, things can behave differently. But yeah, man, there's a couple of things you can mess around with to try it. I think, unless I'm very much mistaken, because I'm only actually streaming out at 720p here at the minute. And I think, if I remember my bandwidth to what I ended up setting it at, I think it's 2800. So 2800 is my current bandwidth that I've set for the stream, or like my current bitrate. And yeah, it's a lot faster. Like, stupidly faster. I think the slowest is if you're watching on mobile, which I think works out at around about 15 seconds still. But that's purely because they have to have a secondary layer of encoding there, technically, for like how stuff gets sent to the mobile app, which again I believe is something they're changing. I don't know whether that's going to be something they're doing sooner rather than later. There's a lot of stuff like that that happens behind the scenes. This is actually all this is all hardware encoded. I have the one very nice piece of software I have, or not software, the nice piece of hardware I have is a GTX 1070. So I have this essentially handling all my stream. And yeah, it's using the hardware encoding is actually quite nice right now. And again, you'll get a different level of return on that. I am playing the Temple of the Fist right now, by the way, as well. I did see that pop up while I was fighting away. So yeah, you will get stuff like that where, depending on exactly what GPU you have as well, you'll have a different level of return on that sort of thing as well. So like, there's loads of things you can mess around with. A 980 might be able to do stuff. Honestly though, like the best advice I can ever give people for this stuff is mess around with it. I mean, I always used to say that for Twitch and stuff as well. But yeah, like, just mess around with stuff. I mean, even though I already had an idea for what stuff I wanted to use on here, I still did a lot of last minute testing over the weekend just to make sure nothing had changed between like the last time when I decided to mess around with it and now, basically. Because again, with it being like a new platform, they're changing stuff and upgrading stuff all the time. But yeah, it's like, I think for like the NVIDIA encoding stuff, which is like the, what is it? NVENC stuff, NVENC coding. I think for that stuff, I think anything older than like the 10th generation stuff, so like the 10 series GPUs, I think they have a diminishing level of return for what you get quality wise on the stream. So it's like, I think there is a different level of like what you can get in terms of like quality for the return of it. Because it works the same on the older generation cards as well. But I'm not exactly sure of how it works at Nvidia's end, but there's something to do with how it encodes on the older generation of cards where it isn't as clean. And I think it's just something purely to do with the amount of performance bandwidth you get on the 10th gen cards. Or at least that's my understanding of it. I could be horribly wrong in that, but but yeah, the my 1070, it has so much overhead for playing the game. I can run and play the game perfectly fine, and it can still encode and stuff, and I don't get any drop off. It's great. But yeah, yeah, that's one of the things I will say. It is always cheaper to build your own. It's still expensive at the end of the day to build a PC, but I mean, especially recently, there's been a lot of issues with like GPU costs and stuff right now because of the Ethereum miners and stuff. Damned cryptocurrencies. But I think that's starting to settle a little bit. It's not like perfect right now, because a lot of the GPU manufacturers like Nvidia and stuff are still in the process of getting like cryptocurrency equivalent cards out to people. So there's still a lot of that which is like still being resolved for like the cost of GPUs right now. But yeah, you will certainly, like in the future, it won't be that bad because it's damn awful right now. It's like things like my 1070. I bought this 1070 when it was brand new, like literally that week when they were coming out. That's when I got this card. So it's like it's served me well so far. And the one thing I will say is, like, it's been getting to the point recently where these cards were costing more to buy because like the cryptocurrency stuff was pushing the prices up. It would have cost me more to buy this card than a 1080 would. So it's like some of the price jumps and stuff have been stupid. But yeah, it's getting there. They're starting to fix stuff like that. But like I was saying, it's not like the be all and end all. I haven't upgraded anything on my PC from like years now. I did one upgrade like, God, what was it, like 2 years back now? And like the 1070 is the only thing I added onto that. But yeah, it's doing most of the legwork here. To be honest, most of the stuff that I'm doing here, yeah, is all being handled by it. Because I think it's, at least for like, if I was playing the game just by itself, it averages like over 100 FPS in every single piece of the game. I don't think I've ever seen it drop below 100. So it's like, it's got way more overhead than I need for playing the game. Oh crap. That was a bad timing to jump in there. But yeah, so it's like, because of that, it's like I can still play on my monitor fine, because my monitor's only like a 60 Hz monitor anyway. So, you know, it's not as if like I still like need the frames or anything. So it's like I might as well just let my GPU handle it all. Oh, dude, 660 Ti's were the bomb back in the day. And the one thing I will say for like PC stuff, if it still works and you can still play, and you know you can still play and enjoy and stuff, you don't need anything else. See, now that's excessive. Playing on a big TV, that's excessive. I have seen I'm trying to think of how long ago it was. I don't think it was that long back. But someone posted a picture of themselves on Reddit playing the game in a cinema. Because they worked at like... oh god, I'm trying to think of where it was. I can't remember what cinema it was now, but they worked at some cinema anyway. And because of that, like, they could hook it through into like the system there when when no one was... oh come on, I wasn't in that. Apparently the game thought I was in that. Damn. Damn. How many stacks have I got of that? I don't really want to take them all, but screw it. But yeah, it's for that it was so bonkers just seeing them like play it on essentially a absolutely massive cinema. Like, I don't really like it was an IMAX one, but like it's still like a massive cinema screen, whichever way you look at it. It was cool, dude. It was very, very nerdy, but it was cool. And yeah, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, that's kind of the fun thing with PCs and stuff. You know, just hook it into something, off you go. And yeah, I've seen a lot of very random setups for PCs over the years, but hey man, it's whatever works for you at the end of the day. You know, I will say some of the... like, one of the things I actually did for work, and I try not to mention work stuff on here, because some people might think I'm like trying to promote it or something, but screw it, I'll take the hit. But yeah, some of the stuff that was done recently for the expansion that we did, we were testing out like different performances of like different PC rigs and stuff, and like by different rigs it's like all the way up into like the many thousands. That was some nerdy stuff when it's like, how well does this game run at like ridiculous like PCs and stuff. Yeah, that was some fun times. Work has its perks. And yeah, dude, I actually really like Stormblood. It's hard to tell exactly how things are going to be like when they release trailers and stuff like that, and it's like, it looked cool, but it was hard to tell exactly like how stuff was going to play out. Like, I had no intention of playing Red Mage and stuff. I was perfectly happy playing Astrolugian, and they've made that class even better as well. It's so ridiculously good. But yeah, like after I'd kind of played through the story, and I'd kind of gotten to this point where I'm at now with Red Mage on my Astra, and I was like, well, I at least wanted to look at the two new classes. So like I had a look at Samurai, and I was like, I'm not that fussed about it. So then I tried Red Mage, and I've been just stuck playing Red Mage. It's like I only hit level 70 on it at the weekend. Stealth King, thank you very much for the follow, buddy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All the follows. Yeah. But yeah, we've actually got through that in time as well. I was wondering if I'd have enough time to do another dungeon before 6 o'clock, but I don't think I'm going to. Let me just say thanks to the guys in chat here very quickly in game. As our friend would say, sloppy. Still gets me. But yeah, man, it's like I really spent my time with the story and stuff. You know, just kind of seeing all the various bits and pieces of that. And then, yeah, it's like as part of that, I just really wanted to like try out the new classes, and it was my downfall, because now I'm hooked on Red Mage. I'm on Omega as well, dude. I can actually grab you the link for my stuff. Hang on. He says, typing furiously. Ba, 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 ba. This is actually one of the things I've got set up on Discord, but at the same time I kind of know that, like, whether people want to use Discord or not, I don't know yet. It's kind of one of those things I've got there for people who want it. That's me. Popped it in chat for you. But yeah, I'm using KupoBot on Discord just because it's like, just as far as Final Fantasy's 14 bots go, for having something like that on Discord, it has so much stuff on it. So I can even just use it as a quick reference thing if I need to. It's very cool. But yeah, I don't think... Have I got enough for another piece? Not really. And yeah, dude, I've been saying it a lot for... It varies from game to game, really. Like, exactly like how much people use Discord and things like that. I mean, I've made it available mainly because I quite like the integration stuff that they've got here on Mixer for it. So, with that sort of thing, it's a lot of fun when you're kind of looking at like how to have different sort of setups for like people watching and stuff. Like one of the cool things I really quite like about it is just how, like, if say like anyone who follows on here, there's a separate follower stuff that's all set up separately for people who follow for like voice and text chat and stuff in Discord, because it gives you all these options for stuff. This is what I've been doing like the last week. I've been messing. Like, I'm too much of a nerd for my own good. It's like, I just like to mess around with tech. It's like, I'll probably never use half of it, but it's like, ooh, shiny bot that does things. Give me. So there's been a lot of that this last week when I've been like setting things up. Yeah, I was completely the other way, Stealth King. Going back to what you just put in chat before, I played through the majority of all the way up through Heaven's Ward. I didn't quite finish through the MSQ straight away, but yeah, Stuff like that, Sinister, by the way, with things like how I don't have commands for everything yet. That stuff is things I'm wanting to add as well. Until then, that's why I've got it on stream, and why if you actually, I'm not sure if it shows it on mobile, but if you're watching this on, if you're watching this in like the main PC version, I think if you look just below where the video is, there should be a link. There should be like a little Discord icon that you can just click on and it bumps you into it. I think it does anyway. I could be wrong. I think that's what that does. That's all handled by Mixer's own bot. They have a bot that handles all that. I think that's how that works anyway. But yeah, it's like I don't think I finished the MSQ anyway, initially on Heaven's Wall, but I played all the way through to 60 initially with Paladin, and then I unlocked Astrolugian. I unlocked that, then played that for ages. Leveled the odd other bits and pieces here and there. Like, so I got like Bard to 60, even though I wasn't that fussed on it. I got Monk to 60 as well. I haven't even touched Bard since the expansion. I did play a bit of Monk. Monk I quite like because it's a very... I don't want to use simple. Simple's not the right word, but it's got like a kind of very sort of easy to manage rotation. That's a bit weird. It should be there only because their bot is still in my chat. Because it is mirroring everything that I have. Like it gives you like things like it mirrors the chat for Mixer in Discord. It's one of the things. Again, it might just be that it's accidentally disappeared for now. It's a new platform, it happens. I may also actually add that as a custom command at some point as well, just in case. Hey, I've just seen you appear as well. But yeah, there's other stuff I want to kind of get back to because I haven't touched like any crafting or gathering really. I kind of only vaguely touched on it, so I really do need to do this stuff at some point. So it is there. It's probably being shifted around. They are meant to keep the two things together. Maybe it just depends on how you're viewing it. I don't know. It's all new. It's like it's one of them. It's like it's there somewhere. That's the way I explain stuff at the minute. It's like it's there somewhere. But yeah, I think yeah, like for example, it takes it a minute to do it, but like for example, to give you a very quick example here, Sinister, like how it's made you a follower on here, on the Discord, it's done that automatically because the bot makes you a follower in my section on Discord because you're following on Mixer and stuff like that. There's loads of that sort of stuff that kind of all runs behind the scenes, but I just leave the bots to it. That they have their own minds. But yeah, there's loads of stuff, like both for like streaming stuff, but like stuff in game that I actually need to do at some point. It's like I really need to get around to doing stuff. Oh dear. But yeah, like some of the stuff I don't think necessarily works properly anymore, or like at least how they advertise it. Like I think you're meant to be able to talk in the Mixer chat thing I have in Discord, and it shows up on the actual Mixer chat and stuff. but I don't think that works quite properly at the minute. Or it might only work while I'm live. I'm not entirely sure, because I couldn't get it to work while I was offline. So I think, like, again, it's one of those sort of work in progress sort of things. Yeah, you've literally, I was just going to say, like, you're literally just trying it. It's like, it is meant to show it, but it's, for whatever reason, it doesn't ping back the other way at the minute. It is meant to. They say it's meant to. It says it in the details for the bot. But again, it might just be one of those things of, it doesn't probably work properly at the minute, but hey, you know, I really don't mind. It's the fact that they've got even any functionality there at the minute is great. You know, it's all shiny and new. Yeah, it's, again, it might literally be like a thing like how you try to, like, actually put it in, like, the separate tab like that. It could be, I don't know. But they say it's meant to just mirror. It's like mirror and copy back and forth, but it's like, maybe it doesn't work, or maybe that's like kind of one of those of where it's like it's only kind of, it can't go both ways at the minute. Who knows? Like I say, it's one of those. Yes, sinister. Yeah, I think it might just be one of those of where it might not necessarily work across the board at the minute. Like they might have to actually turn something separate on, or something might have to match up. Because I think they have said for some of the features, I did see that they said that you have to have the same name for both for a lot of things. But if you've already got Discord linked with Mixer, it's meant to override that, because it's meant to be able to see, oh, that's your Discord name, and this is your name on Mixer. But yeah, it's like, who knows at this point? It's like, so long as there's some level of functionality there, and no doubt, you know, they're always changing it and improving it, so it's like, I don't mind if, like, some stuff doesn't always work. It's like, I can accept that, you know. Well, yeah, the settings, the only settings that you get for it's not always called Mixer Overlord. It's because I just gave it a custom name because I was bored one day. But the settings for that are actually handled on Mixer. And yeah, it doesn't give you a whole lot of options outside of setting like what role people have on Discord if they follow you and stuff like that. But yeah, outside of that stuff, it just says that it's meant to just kind of do it, and it seems to be at least pulling the chat in, but yeah, it's all new stuff. I mean, I was playing what was I playing the other day? I think someone was streaming Luigi's Mansion, and they had a controller set up. You know, as you do. But yeah, there's just loads of stuff that people are trying out with it. And it's like, at the minute, it's like, a lot of stuff might not necessarily work 100% right now. I mean, they've said that. But what they do have kind of works quite well. Anywho, I will say, I've run out of time. The only person who knows I actually finish at this sort of time I would have thought would be Revenues, because he's watched my stuff on Twitch way back when, back in the olden days. But I finish at 6 primarily so I can feed my dog and walk him. So I tend to, whenever I've done afternoon streams in the past, it has always been to finish now, so that I can actually go and walk my dog. But I will say, I am actually going to be back this evening. So in, well, as near as makes no difference, 2 hours from now, where I'll be back again. So yeah, I'll be back again, hanging out, doing my own thing, chilling and talking, as you do. And yeah, maybe I might actually get myself some more gear at this point. You never know. But yeah, guys, I say there's been a lot more people who have appeared and followed, so thank you very much. It's been nice to say, chatting with all of you. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you all again in my next stream, or you'll pop in at some point in the future. Either way, thank you very much. Take care. I will see you all again soon.